Hey, what's up guys? You ever have this big problem where you make a video, you publish it, you're sitting there, you're waiting, and then just nobody's watching the video. Nobody's engaging in it. Oof, kiss of death. We don't want to be there. Yeah, because listen, if you have a business and you're creating content, you're making videos, and nobody's watching it, well, the chances of you actually making sales are slim to none. So you gotta be making content that is actually engaging with people. Otherwise, nobody's gonna purchase your products or your services. Yeah, so we have to be able to create engaging content. And how do you do it? One of the ways is by way of establishing a strong connection. If you can create a good connection with the audience, with the person that's coming across your video, well, then they're gonna feel more compelled to watch all the way through, to the point that they might become a lead or a sale in your business. Okay, so how do you build a connection? First off, connection is so important to me. I mean, listen, 7 million plus video views, 110 countries. I've helped people with their video marketing so they can sell more. But the thing is, and make a bigger impact, but my business isn't called Casino Video Marketing International. It's not sexy. My business is actually called Casino Connection International, because I'm always focused on how I can build a connection through a video. You know, and connection is important to me, not just online, but also offline. Right? And so connection is so important. Well, how do you build a connection? Well, there's many ways in which you could build a connection, but I'm going to give you a really powerful approach in this video, and also 3 steps in which you could implement that approach. So here's the thing. The first step is that, you know, when a person is trying to establish a connection, or when they're trying to make a video, the mistake I see so many people make is that, man, they're focusing too much time on the solution, on the result, on the process. And I'll be honest with you, the feeling or the sensation that I have, and many of your prospects have when you're trying to mash the solution down their throat, is a break-in rapport, not the build of rapport. I mean, how many times have you been online? I mean, listen, if you're a coach, you see all the time. People are trying to mash down your throat this particular process, then you gotta buy. And it's just, oh man, it's disgusting, isn't it? And so you're breaking rapport if all you're doing is shoving a solution down a person's throat. I mean, listen, if you want to build rapport with an individual, speak to the problem first, at the very least, please. Why? Because when you speak to the problem, then I, the individual that's coming across your video, I feel understood. I feel like you get me, right? It's when I watch your video, I'm not saying to myself, okay, I get what they're talking about. No. The sensation, the feeling, the thought process in my head is, they get me. See, only when I have felt understood will I seek to understand. Let me repeat that. Only when I, the video viewer, has felt understood will I seek to understand your process, your result, your solution, your product, your service. So you have to focus on the problem first. Only then can you present the solution. And in so doing, you build rapport rather than break it. Now, how do you present the problem? Because that's the next mistake I see many people make. They're presenting the problem in the wrong way. You know, when we're specifically focusing on problem, many people go way too specific. You know, they go so specific, the type of specificity that might be needed when you're on a phone call with an individual or speaking one-to-one with somebody. But when you're making a video, and a reminder, video, social media videos, they're going to be impacting people globally, potentially. You know, unless you're geo-targeting, global impact. And by way of that, you want to be a little bit more vague. You know, listen, if you're going to teach me about dating advice, and your specific video is saying, well, hey, you know, if you're dating this woman named Stacy, and this particular Stacy, and you went to a dinner last night and got steak, and she hasn't talked to you in the last couple hours, well then, and it's like, dude, you lost me. Why? Because I can't resonate with that. That has nothing to do with the lifestyle or life that I'm living. Yeah, so you gotta go a little bit more vague, so that way you can appeal to a broader audience when we're speaking about the problem. Now, the next thing is, you know, why that's so important. Really, I mean, the reality of it is because by way of doing that, and here's step 3, is you're speaking with them and not to them. I'll repeat that. You're speaking with the audience and not to the audience. They become an active participant in that message that you have. It's almost like you're giving them an opportunity to fill in the blanks with their own name. So I had a friend years ago who actually read that book that went incredibly viral. You remember the name? 50 Shades of Grey. Promise you it's a friend. Asking for a friend. No, for real. This is a friend of mine. And he mentioned something that was fascinating about the book. He says, Diego, that particular book, I read it. He was saying, and I guess for research purposes, he says, Diego, the protagonist, this gray character. Apologies, I'm a dude. So this gray character is portrayed specifically in terms of his wealth, his power, his sexual prowess, and in so doing, he's seen or perceived as the individual that many women that fell in love with that book would want. But what was fascinating is that the woman that's in the book, at least by his analysis, was portrayed as this empty shell of a character that any woman could write her story into. And you could do the same thing with your videos. By being a little bit more vague, you give a person the opportunity to fill in the blank with their own name, and then they feel like you're inside their head, like, oh my God, like you get me, you understand me. You see, it was years ago that a particular doctor said, if you can describe the problem better than that particular individual can even describe the problem, then they will attribute you to have the solution. So we got to get really good at describing the problem. And in so doing, you establish a much better connection, and a person is willing to go through your video to the point that they're willing also to feel understood and then try to understand your solution, which could very well be your product or your service. I hope this moved you, and hey, if this did, I got so much more awesome content, and I actually want to give you a free ebook where I give you 5 tips that help me get millions of views on my content as an online coach. But whatever it is that you're doing online, whether you're selling a product or a service, it's definitely going to help you out. So head over there, diegocasino.com/books, and I'll help you out. And hey, go out there, make an impact, connect with people, and don't forget your incredible power. You're a tribal leader, my friend. Go build that tribe.